Shalom חברים. Today it's really hot in here. It's like 96 degrees outside. But today is also the Torah portion of Tetze. And we're going to do it together with a very famous children's song that I would like to share with you. So let's start right away with the children's song, which you can see comes from this book of children's song. And it's called Ken Tzipor, or A Bird's Nest. It goes like this. כן לציפור בין העצים, ובכן לה 3 ביצים. ובכל ביצה הס פן תאיר, ישן לו אפרוח זעיר. All right? And I'm gonna give you the translation of this beautiful children's poem. A nest for the bird between the trees, and in the nest 3 little eggs, and in each egg, hush, do not wake, there sleeps a tiny fledgling. So this children's song that comes in this book is really one of the most popular and famous children's songs in Israel. It's still sung today by preschool teachers and mothers to sing kids to sleep. When I became a mother, I sang it to my children. And it was written in 1891 by no other than one of the most important figures in Jewish culture of the past 200 years, who became the national poet of Israel, and that is Chaim Nachman Bialik. And Bialik, just a little bit of background about him, was born in 1873, died in 1934, and actually wrote many beautiful children's songs, amongst other, of course, very heavy and serious poetry. But his children's songs are still some of the most popular and the most sung children's songs for children in Israel. And interestingly enough, Bialik had not a happy childhood, to say the least. He was born in what today is Ukraine, then Russian Empire, in the area of Zhytomyr, in a small village called Radi, I believe, and to poverty. His father was the owner of a small pub that used to tend to the village drunk, and that was the atmosphere that he grew up with. And then the entire Jewish population of that village was forced out, more to kind of like a ghetto-ish place in the city. And shortly after that forced immigration, his father died, and leaving Bialik's mother with 3 children and with 0 means to take care of them. And so his mother gave him away to his grandfather, who was a very strict Torah scholar, and neglected him very much. And he suffered severe abuse from older children in the family during that time. So it's interesting because his childhood was not happy. But Bialik was always very talented, very, very brilliant, and really had an incredible imagination. And he got accepted to what was then the most important yeshiva in Lithuania, which was the Volozhin Yeshiva, that was led by Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, also known as the Natziv. Those who follow this column know that I bring the Natziv a lot. But it was there in that yeshiva that when Bialik started to turn his back to Orthodox life. And during his time there in the yeshiva, he discovered, places restaurants where there were music and waltz and dance at night, and gravitated towards those places. And but interestingly enough, what he found in those places was not necessarily the dancing and the women, but more the books that were laying around. And he was exposed to different culture, to books that were forbidden to be read in the yeshiva, for philosophy and literature and poetry, that really just ignited his imagination and slowly made him turn his back to Orthodox Jewish life and to God, frankly. And there are scholars and researchers of Bialik that think that this song, this poem that I opened with, The Bird's Nest, really speaks to Bialik's longing for a protected childhood that he never had, right? For not waking that fledgling that is, so protected in that egg, in the nest, in the tree, all wrapped up, and that it expresses his longing to that. And that could very well maybe, none of us know what motivated Bialik to write it, but there are some details in the poem that indicates that he may have referred to something else. And that's what I want to talk about today, because it relates to our Torah portion, Tetze. So in Tetze, there is a verse that goes like this: Ki kare ken tzipor lefanecha baderech bechol etz o al haaretz אפרוחים או ביצים והאם רובצת על האפרוחים או על הביצים לא תיקח האם על הבנים שלח תשלח את האם ואת הבנים תיקח לך למען ייטב לך והארכת ימים. So this is an exact reading from a portion which is in Deuteronomy. And the translation is: if along the road you chance upon a bird's nest, in any tree or on the ground, with fledglings or eggs, and the mother is sitting over the fledglings or on the eggs, do not take the mother together with her young. Let the mother go and take only the young, in order that you may fare well and have a long life. So essentially, and we can interpret these commandments in different ways, but essentially what these commandments ask us to do is to be compassionate. If we need eggs, if we want to take the eggs, at least let's send the mother away first, right? Maybe so not to create a situation where the mother witness the eggs are taking, or just not be too cruel as taking all of them together. It can be interpreted in different ways, but it's to show compassion. And this commandment ends with a reward. If you do that, you'll have a good and long life. And interestingly enough, there's only one other commandment in the Torah that has this reward. Only one other, and that is the commandment to honor mother and father, which ends in a similar manner. Now, there's a famous story in the Jerusalem Talmud, in Masechet Chagiga, about a man that the Talmud calls Acher, or the other. His name is actually Elisha ben Abuya, who witnessed this really heart-wrenching incident. And there was a father and his son, and there was a bird's nest. And the father asked his son to go and fulfill that mitzvah, that commandment of shiluach haken, of basically shoo the mother away and take the eggs. And the son said, yes, father, and climbed a tree to do just that. And he indeed sent the mother away. But on his way down, he was bitten by a snake and he died. And what Elisha ben Abuya witnessed was that here's a son that simultaneously fulfilled both commandments in the Torah that promise long life, that promise good and long life, right? The one from Deuteronomy about the nest, and honoring his father. He has done as his father told him, and fulfilled both of these exact commandments and died right after. And that pretty much indicated to Elisha ben Abuya, well, there is no God. Or he turned his back to religious life. And from that moment on, he's known as Acher, the other, right? Who basically turned away. And so when we look at Bialik's Bird's Nest, first of all, we can ask, why is the poem called Ken Tzipor and not Ken La Tzipor? Because we say Ken La Tzipor Ben Ha'etzim, there's a bird's nest among the trees, and it flows a lot nicer and grammatically sound Ken La Tzipor, but then the song is called Ken Tzipor. So part of the reasons could be that he really refers to this commandment, which actually says in Deuteronomy, Kitire Ken Tzipor. And then maybe Bialik sees himself in Elisha ben Abuya, and maybe this very innocent children's poem is talking about Bialik himself turning his back. Dr. Harel Primak wrote an article in Iton Haaretz, in the Haaretz newspaper, in 2022, where he talks about it, and there was something beautiful there that he says that in Ken Tzipor, the Bialik Ken Tzipor, not only it doesn't call to shoo the mother away, it says has pen ta'ir, don't make noise, don't dare to make the mother go away, you don't need these eggs. So it's a complete a backlash to Jewish tradition, if you will. So again, with an interpretation, some may agree and some not. I tend to agree with Primak, and I think that it is where Bialik found himself. And the reason why I think so is because of another children's poem by Bialik, which is called Nadneda, which means a swing, but in this case, it's more of a seesaw. And now, seriously, if you go in Israel to any playground, okay, where there is a seesaw, you will hear the parents that help the kids swing, singing, Nadned, Nadned, Red ale ale vared. Here in the United States, if I push my kids on the swing, I sing Nadned. There's no other song for swinging kids, right? And this is a Bialik song. I can show it to you here. Here's the seesaw and the Bialik song Nadneda. And let me read it to you. And this gives us the answer. Nadneda, Chaim Nachman Bialik. Nadned, Nadned, Red ale, ale vared. Ma lemala, ma lemata. רק אני ואתה. שנינו שקולים במאזניים, בין הארץ לשמיים. And it translates to up and down, down and up and down. What is up above? What is down below? Just you and I, the two of us, balanced on the scales between the earth and the sky. So what is above, according to Bialik? What is down below? Just you and I, you and I. Shabbat Shalom.